Hi everybody, it's Brad and Christa, Big Family Homestead, and today we are making cheese, goat cheese, Cheve. Yeah, so let's get going. So I know what you're thinking, and yes, I am so devastatingly handsome, she's gonna have a hard time making goat cheese. Yeah.
Really?
Nah, not really. So anyway, it's basically a No, we're going. This is live.
No,
this is this is it. It's basically a 3-step process, and it's really very easy. Mm-hmm. So step 1 is
sterilize your utensils.
So we're gonna sterilize, and then we're gonna make cheese, because that's step 1 of the 3-step process in making cheese. When you sterilize, that's the first step. Yeah.
So the first step is we're going to sterilize all of the items that are going to come in contact with your milk. You don't want to add any extra bacteria that you don't want into your cheese. So we have a slotted spoon. I know this is not your typical cheese making spoon, but I'll tell you the reason for that later. I have my 1/3 cup that I'm going to dissolve the rennet in, and I have my teaspoon, or my 1/4 teaspoon, somewhere down here.
Fish it out, baby, fish it out.
I'm trying. There it is, my 1/4 teaspoon for the culture. And then I will put this in the thermometer in there once this is really boiling well. Okay, quick note. The pan that you're going to be using to make your cheese needs to be one of 3 kinds of pans: a glass pan, an enamel pan, or stainless steel. I prefer stainless because that's what we have, and it's easy to clean. You cannot use an aluminum pan because it reacts with the acids in the culture. So to make cheese, you need fresh milk, rennet, and mesophilic culture. Now, with the rennet, there are 3 different types of rennet. You have animal rennet, which is directly from an animal. Then you have vegetable rennet, which they process it out of vegetables. And then there's a synthetic rennet. I don't want to use the synthetic rennet because I want my cheese as natural as possible. So I use the animal rennet because I want more of an old-fashioned, old-style cheese.
Okay, so we've had this boiling for a good long bit. You want to make sure it's at least 15 to 20 minutes so that any nasty-wasty skunks that are on there will be boiled to death. Now we're going to transfer our utensils from this pot onto a sterile, clean surface. All right, next we're going to take this hot water and transfer it into our sink. And the reason why we're going to do that is because it's easier for us, and well, there's a method where you can make cheese using a double boiler. Well, we like it this way because it's easy. We don't have to buy any special tools, and it works just fine. So, water in sink completed.
Next, I'm going to put the milk into the pot.
It is still hot at this point.
Yes. It will heat very quickly, so you have to work rather quickly. That's why you need to make sure your tools are all sterilized and everything is ready to go.
So you are making 1 gallon.
1 gallon.
Okay.
Now, with our spoon, you see the slots. You need to do an up and down motion to make sure that the bottom doesn't get too hot and curdle.
Scald it. Yeah.
Too. Okay, now I'm going to set it into the hot water. This comes up to temperature very quickly.
What is the temperature you're looking for?
You're looking for 80 degrees. When it gets to be about 78, I go ahead and pull it out of the water because it'll continue to come up in temperature.
There we go. 80 is the magic number.
Yep. Give it a stir every once in a while.
Evenly distribute that heat. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're up to temperature.
Yep,
we're 80 degrees, and we're going to take that milk out of the water bath, or our simulated double boiler. We're going to dissolve what?
Well, we're going to add our culture first.
To the milk?
To the milk. You add your culture first.
And you only need how much?
You only need 1/4 teaspoon for a gallon of milk.
Okay.
And since that was sterilized, I don't mind if it touches the milk.
Okay.
Now.
So now that our mesophilic acid is in there, you got to mix it up to make sure it's evenly distributed. Then you get your rennet.
Then you get your rennet, and you make sure you dissolve it into a bit of water. I've got about a 1/3 cup here.
How much rennet?
2 drops of rennet.
Oh, really? That's small.
That's it.
So you dissolve it in water.
Dissolve it in water, pour it in.
Okay.
Give it a quick stir up and down. Don't want to over stir it. That's why we do the up and down motion so it stops quickly.
Okay.
And now we're done.
We're done?
We're done.
What do you mean done?
We're done.
Done?
All you do now is you put a top on this and you set it in the back corner of your counter or in an oven that you're not going to use, and you leave it for 12 hours.
12 hours?
12 hours. That's it. Done.
Oof, done.
Then in 12 hours, we'll drain it.
Okay, next up, we need to get the whey strained off of this cheese. So we use a bowl inside of a strainer with an actual like a flour cloth. You can use cheesecloth, but we found that its mesh is too big and lets gunk through. So we use something that has a much smaller mesh. Now check all that whey. All that whey has got to come off and out, and actually it's inside the cheese too. So that's why we're doing this. We're gonna go ahead and put it in there, and then we're gonna tie up the ends, and we're gonna squeeze it out, and we're going to hang it overnight. Yeah, look at that delicious soon-to-be awesomeness. Yummy. So we're gonna tie up the ends, and then we're just basically gonna hang it in a place where you know you can leave it okay for 12 hours. And check that out. We just happen to have an old wine racky thing sitting there, and it hangs real nice. And that will drip, drip, drip overnight, and we will have awesome, amazing cheese in the AM. Sweet. All right, so just a quick recap. We've got our goat's milk. You heat it to the 80 degrees. You're gonna get your mesophilic mumbo jumbo up in there, your culture, and you're also gonna use your rennet. Now you stirred it gently, you've left it sit for 12 hours, and then you've put it into a filter bag that is this kind of a genius thingy right here. See that? See that? Now, I don't want to comment on what this may or may not look like to you, but this is cheese. But now we gotta, what? Now you gotta form it into a lago cheese. So here we go.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to set the cheese out, but I want some parchment so that I can stretch out the cheese and add some salt. The salt is a very important ingredient in your cheese making process. It is an actual ingredient. All right, so I've got our cheese, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? So you've got nice, soft cheese. All right, we're gonna roll this out on the parchment paper. Get all those good little bits. Okay, so I'm gonna spread this out so that it's nice and flat and in a even amount, even layer, I should say. That way I can add the salt. And I add about a teaspoon of salt to the whole thing. Now, salt is very important. It's a very important ingredient. It stops the process of the culture. Otherwise, if you don't add the salt, it's just gonna taste nasty. Okay, so now the way I mix it is it's really cool. It's like you're kneading dough, but you're using the paper, so you're not getting you're not getting cheese everywhere. You're not getting it all in your fingernails and adding bacteria to it. All right, so now I'm going to weigh this so that I can kind of get a guesstimate on how much I can divide it into two. So it's about 1 pound and 2 ounces that I got from a gallon of milk, which is pretty good. All right, divide this into 2. Not exact, just a guess. And now I have some extra parchment paper, and I will take this and make this into a log. And now I store it in this parchment paper in the freezer until we're ready to use it. Just roll it up like you're rolling butter or cheese or whatever. Twist one end, twist the other end like a piece of candy. Nice and tight. So now this is completely usable right now. You could put this out on a tray and put it into in your salads or whatever, but we don't use it a lot, so we use it for parties or gifts or trading. But now I'll just mark this with the date and I'll throw this in the freezer for when we do want to use it.
So there you have it. Goat cheese. We have made goat cheese a little more than a gallon, just a smidge over a gallon, and we got a smidge over a pound of cheese. Now, the thing about this is that I hope you can see it was easy. Yes, there is time that's in the process. There was the first 12 hours of waiting, and then there's the second 12 hours of waiting, but you're really only talking about a small amount of milk, the mesophilic acid, and the rennet, and you strain it. Easy to do. I mean, I would say we've only been doing this for what, 5-6 times now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great interview. Yeah. So tell me how you feel. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm Brad, and this is my lovely bride, Christa, and this is the big fat homestead whatever thingy. Have an amazing day.